With the Trump administration separating kids from their families at the border, it's good to know that there are groups out there that are speaking out and fighting back, especially in ways that we can't do alone. And I'm talking specifically about the DSA, the Democratic Socialists of America. So they've been out protesting this move by the Trump administration, as well as protesting ICE in general. So here are a few examples. DSA San Francisco tweeted out, "We've got some demands. Come help us deliver them." And here they are protesting with the sign, "Abolish ICE." As well as DSA San Diego. We're in front of the Child Detention Center at 1160 Broadway. Come out and protest. And also DSA Portland. Portlanders will know that ICE is operating in our backyard, and that is unacceptable. Occupy ICE. Now, while all of these are great examples of the DSA standing up and fighting back and protesting and informing people on what is going on, the best example is from Metro DC DSA. So in DC, Homeland Security Secretary Kirstjen Nielsen, who, quoting Splinter News here, decided to wind down from a long few days of lying her ass off about the Trump administration's family separation policy by dining at a fancy Mexican restaurant in DC. Well, while she was doing that, this happened.
Children separated from their parents. How can you enjoy a Mexican dinner as you're deporting and imprisoning tens of thousands of people who come here seeking asylum in the United States? We call on you to end family separation and abolish ICE!
Abolish ICE! Abolish ICE! Abolish ICE!
Abolish ICE!
Shame! 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 Shame!
Shame! Shame!
Family separation!
And family separation!
And family separation! You don't eat in peace! If kids don't eat in peace, you don't eat in peace! If kids don't eat in peace, you don't eat in peace! If kids don't eat in peace, you don't eat in peace! If kids don't eat in peace, you don't eat in peace! Not in D.C., not in the U.S., not in D.C.,
Not in the U.S. Not in D.C.
not in the U.S., not in D.C., not in the U.S., not in D.C., not in the U.S., not in D.C., not in the U.S. In a Mexican restaurant, of all places! Homeland Security Secretary Kirstjen Nielsen is in a Mexican restaurant, of all places! The fucking goal! Shame on you!
Shame! Shame! Shame!
Shame! Shame!
Shame!
Now, I absolutely loved that. Now, if it wasn't obvious from the video, she had to leave a bit early from dinner because of the protests. Now, some of you out there are going to say, "Oh, this was rude. They're being impolite. She's out on her personal time. She's having dinner at a Mexican restaurant. So you can't bug her. There are other people around. You don't want to bug them." No. This is how you activate people. This is what you have to do. You have to go out in public spaces. You have to go out and annoy these people. Because you know what? Being polite has not worked. You have to actually get out there and push back. And that's exactly what the DSA is doing. Now, here's a comment from Allison Rabar, who is a spokesperson for the Metro DC DSA. And here's what she told the Daily Beast. "Oppressed people have never been given their rights by asking politely. Kirstjen Nielsen is not going to be convinced by us politely saying, 'Could you maybe not separate children from their families? Could you maybe stop detaining and deporting migrants who have done nothing wrong?' If you ever wondered what you do in a civil rights movement, you're doing it right now. A lot of people started engaging. Some people started clapping with our chants. A couple people joined in, left their tables, and stood up with us. On the way out, we got a lot of high fives from patrons and restaurant staff. I think the response in the restaurant was actually really heartening." There you go. In case you were worried about the other people who were eating in the restaurant, a lot of them didn't care. Some of them even joined in. Now, I'm sure there were some people there who were bothered by this. I think, most people when they go to eat at a restaurant, they don't want people yelling in that restaurant. But again, once some of them figured out what was actually going on, they were fine with it because they recognize this is how you protest. You can't just sit back and allow these people to do this. And look, Kirstjen Nielsen is in a position of power. She has the power to help change this, but she has enabled it. So she, a few days ago, as I alluded to earlier, she was in front of cameras lying about this policy, defending it. So this is somebody who is in front of the media and is in a position of power, is enabling this policy. So you have to fight back against people like this. Now, if this was some random government official that we don't really know, yeah, I would say maybe this doesn't make a lot of sense to protest that person who has no power. But this is a person that does have power, and that's why you protest them. So I love it. Now, if you live in the US and you're not part of the DSA, I suggest signing up. So I'll have a link to the DSA's website below this video. If you're not part of the DSA yet, get involved. Now, they're not just for, protesting people. They endorse candidates. They support progressive / socialist policies all across the board. So they are doing great things in every area, whether it's in electoral politics or whether it's in activism. So getting involved in a group like this will really help to not only open your mind, but also actually channel your power in a way that is actually effective and will end up with results. So that's why I say it's good to join a group, and I think the DSA is one of the better groups in the US that is doing incredible things.